about 9:35 on this Tuesday morning. We've been saying it all day. Who's our starting quarterback? What's going on? We have Lauren Brill here from News 4 Sports. She's here to break down one of the most bizarre days so far leading up to the One Bills Drive.
It's actually quite a complicated situation. So E.J. Manuel was out with a minor knee injury.
Right.
So they had Kevin Kolb in, and he gets a concussion. So now he's out. And then they were left with just Jeff Tuel, an undrafted rookie. So they brought in two more quarterbacks, Matt Leinart and Thad Lewis. Thad Lewis has only played in one NFL game. Matt Leinart was a first-round pick back in 2006, but he's been somewhat of a bust. Both these guys were actually brought in as backups. The plan is Jeff Tuel will get the start come game one if E.J. Manuel is not ready. Now, there is a chance that he will be ready. It's just a minor knee injury, but because he is the Bills' future, you don't want to rush him.
Right, and now fans are, of course, feeling a little bit deflated. We're Bills fans, so we're used to we're used to it, but I mean, not this early in the preseason. Do you think that yesterday the Bills coming out and just saying, hey, if EJ is not better by week one, we're going to start Jeff Tuel, was that supposed to make people feel better? Because I don't know if it really did.
I don't think it was supposed to make people feel better. I think it was, this is the situation. It is what it is. That being said, Jeff Tuel actually looks pretty good for an undrafted rookie.
Let's talk about him. What is he looking like?
The first game he played in the Colts, he actually threw for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. The last game wasn't great. He only threw for 63 yards and no touchdowns. But he has a nice arm, and he's pretty well under pressure. So it's not an ideal situation, but he's not a bad player. He's pretty talented, and he's been thrown under the fire before in college.
And what is your prediction right now? Do you think that EJ will be ready by opening day?
I hope EJ will be ready for opening day.
I think everyone does.
The injury is very minor. They've stressed that all along. I think they just don't want to rush him, and they're being very cautious. He definitely can play. He's already been seen kind of getting on the field and moving around a little bit. But they just don't want to rush him, I think.
Right, and of course, we're also thinking about Kevin Kolb, who suffered a much more severe injury on Saturday. Something that I always find interesting talking to you about is how does his family and his loved ones support him through, here it is a preseason game, and he suffered his third concussion of his career. How do you cope with that?
Well, I haven't spoke to his family, but for me, I think if it was my family member, it would be very difficult. Because with concussions, a lot of times the problem with concussions are seen later on in life. You think Muhammad Ali. Concussions have been linked to these diseases such as Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. So it's probably difficult for families because the future becomes very, very unclear.
Right, and also, of course, not just for his families and his loved ones, we do hope that he, gets better and feels better. Of course, this is why we're seeing, I think, a lot of the backlash against the preseason in general. You don't want to send these guys out there before the regular season even starts and then see them suffer these injuries. So, tough situation. You're, of course, going to be tracking it. We're going to be seeing a lot more of you on Winging It throughout the Bill season. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Let's go over to Emily Lenahan now.